Yes, Joey Man. Yes, Joey Man. I'm so excited. I'm like a kid in a candy store, Joey Man.
Oh my gosh, son. You gotta warn me before you do outbursts like that, son.
I'm like 0 to 100. I'm like literally like once the camera comes on, I just have to like.
No, I need it. I shared it to my timeline.
I'm sorry. I just shared it to my timeline too. Okay, I am so happy. Oh my gosh. Woo. I'm like, no, sorry. I'm like talking over you already.
Nah, do what you do.
Welcome everybody. I hope you guys are tuning in. I'm here with my good friend and one of my oldest friends. Like, so okay, I'll get in that after. But I want everybody to tune in. Thank you for tuning in. Please, if you have questions for us, you can leave them in the chat. I have my phone here, and I can definitely see your comments, and I'll be sure to read them to Joel if you leave comments and questions. But yes, I'm here with one of my good friends, Joel Oramas. We've known each other, I don't know, like over 20 years, right? I want to say at least.
Yeah.
We went to middle school together, but Joel was a year younger, I believe. And we went to high school and performing arts high school, and then community college, and then regular college. But I didn't go to grad school, and he did, so I cut out after the regular college.
It's all good.
I'm gonna read your little bio. Not really like a little bio, but I just wrote
my little bio, little tiny bio.
So no, I literally just wrote like a couple things down. So Joel is a actor primarily and a teaching artist from our hometown of Bridgeport, Connecticut, City of Dreams. He graduated from Western Connecticut State University and got his master's, his MFA in acting performance from the University of Florida. And he currently lives in New York. And he's been all over the place performing in regional theater and New York City theater. He is killing it. And I said this about Alana last week, and I'm gonna say it about you too. Like, you are like one of the best actors that I personally know. And I mean that from the like bottom of my heart. You know how
that's
I feel.
Real, that's real nice, man.
No, it's true. Like when I think of an actor, I think of Joel. Like, you are like your diction, you are like everything that actors should be. I feel like you do, and you are. And I've always admired that about you ever since I realized you can act, because in like Park City Magnet, you were in acting. In RCA, you were in acting. All of a sudden, and then he was like 20 times better than everybody I knew. And I was like,
you gassing me up, bro.
It's true. It's very true.
You my man, son.
Thank you. I'm so happy you're here. I don't know, I'm probably gonna say that 20 more times, but it's so nice to speak with like people who you admire and who you love and who you want to learn from and share space with. So especially during these times.
Of course, man. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just want to ask you how you're doing first and foremost. I don't like to spend too much time talking about the situation we're in because we all hear that 24/7, but I do want to know how you are.
I'm good, man. Yeah, it's just trying to keep productive. Just trying to keep happy. Still having to walk to the grocery store, but make sure we masked up.
Oh,
yo, you see the mask?
Yeah, I've seen. Yeah, that's the N95, right?
Yes.
I don't have those. So I'm gonna probably.
What you got?
I have two masks, like regular, like the doctor masks.
Okay.
I'm saving in case the zombie apocalypse happens, because you never know these days what's happening. Every day is a new thing that's throwing at us. So I'm like, okay, if something happens, I got my two medical masks. Hopefully I can get somewhere safe. But to go out, the rare times I do go out, I've just been using like bandanas and stuff over my mouth and nose. Yeah. That's our new normal.
I got one. If I had another mask, bro, you'd be the first to get it.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay, Joey, man. It's okay. I know you would. I'm too amped already.
By the way, sometimes I'm gonna put my knee up here just because I want to chill, and that's what's gonna happen.
Chill, relax, enjoy.
I might put it down.
You can put it over your head, maybe. Joey, man. Yeah, so I have some notes here that if I'm looking down and I'm not like ignoring you or like not.
Yeah, no worries, same.
But yeah, I just wanted to talk to you, I guess first and foremost about balancing artistry in like these uncertain times, because I've been observing your Instagram and your social media, and you're like always doing something. You're like always like either drumming or you're like teaching classes. Like I just admire that you're able to stay engaged and stay like doing shit. And I know that's not the case for everybody right now. Like everybody has to do what's best for them. But I just wanted to talk to you because I see that and I admire you so much.
Thanks.
That's okay to say. Yeah. So let's talk about your background in acting. Tell me, like, when did this start? Like, what drew you to being an actor and creator, musician?
I feel you. I started in my church, man.
Oh, praise him.
Hallelujah. Yes. I started my church doing Christmas plays, man. But like,
aww.
Yeah, it was, and they weren't really theater artists like that. But they had like a huge passion just for doing the play every year, and for me, like that was so important to me every year, son. And that's I kept doing that. There was this woman named Gloria Rosa. You know Vicky Rosa?
I don't think so. Maybe it sounds kind of familiar, but I didn't do much church.
Yeah, so. She went to Central, but
Victoria Rosa. Did she go to RCA?
I don't think so.
It sounds familiar. I just can't picture the face, and I feel really bad because in case she's watching, she's gonna be like.
She's like, why don't you remember? Her mother directed the plays, and and her mother was not a theater artist, but she just knew how to get people to work and like kind of like no nonsense at times, and that's where I started that. And awesome. And I didn't have I went to RCA, obviously.
RCA, which is the Regional Center for the Arts. It's like a high school program for kids in our city, and then all the other surrounding cities in our towns in our state.
Yeah. And I auditioned I auditioned for Charlie Brown member and Mr. Hanley's class, and unfortunately he's like, play the drums.
Joey. And how did you feel about that? Because I think I have a couple thoughts about that, but I want to know, like, how did you feel? How old are you? 15, 16?
I was 15.
15?
Yeah. No, my thought, I hadn't, like, there were people who had been doing this longer, who were in the program longer. So I was disappointed, obviously.
Yeah.
But I didn't trip too hard about it. I do wish, I'm like, dang, I can't be like in the background doing this. Maybe.
I mean, did you want to be in the background doing this and moving furniture like some of us were? Yeah. We're just kikiing and throwing shade, but
shout out to RCA. But I went to college, honestly, to be a nurse. Like, that was my original track. I remember talking to you about that.
Yeah.
But basically, I was nurse's aide before I became an actor, and honestly, I got too emotionally invested. That's serious, son. I was like feeding somebody as a nurse's aide. I'm feeding somebody, and he's like 45 in a wheelchair.
45?
Yeah.
In a wheelchair.
And I'm feeding him, and tears start coming down my eyes at the same time as feeding this dude. And like, I started working in a nursing home, and I was just like, yo, I'm way too invested. I form these relationships and these friendships, and then they die, and then I'm like, going home crying all the time. Like, wait. And people kept telling me, they were like, I know you want to be an actor. I know that's what you want to be doing. I'm like, no. I'm like, no, but you go after it. And Jeff Sheehan is actually the love Jeff.
Yeah. He's such a fantastic guy. He was our theater director of like the Houstonic program.
Yeah.
And he's so inspiring, and I can go on about him for days, but keep going. Sorry.
Nah. I go on for this whole session.
Yeah.
Son, I'm gonna tell you a story later, but like without that man, I might be in jail. Now,
Oh shit. Joey man.
Exactly. So anyway, yeah, he got me. He encouraged me to go into theater, and I talked to my parents. My parents have always been supportive about it, just as long as I'm happy.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, and then yeah, that's how I got into it. We're gonna sort of like going into like decisions like grad school or something like that, or
yeah. So you went Housatonic into WestCon, which and then you went to grad school.
Yeah.
What was your like? Did you always want to go to grad school? Was that something you decided at when you were in WestCon? Like, what was that like?
Yeah, I think because before WestCon, I went to UConn, and there were these two actors. One's name is Brooks Brantley, AJ Smithy, and I was an undergrad, and they were grad students, and I'm looking at them, man, and these are two tall brothers of color who got it together.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And then I went to WestCon, and I kept saying to myself, like, them, like they got it, they got it figured out, you know.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not there. Like, I know I'm missing something. So like midway through being at WestCon, like my third year in college period, I was just like, I need to I need to go to grad school. Like I need more training before I just go up, like jump to New York City.
Yeah. What was grad school like? Because you were in Gainesville, right? Gainesville, Florida. How was that?
Listen, being in Gainesville, Florida is the reason why Tiger King don't surprise me at all.
Oh,
son.
Yeah. Oh man, we got a whole episode on Tiger King. Honestly,
I can talk about it.
I gotta get your brother David in, because
David would have a field day.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but you know, son, I feel like I grew up, you know, just in life. I'm not gonna talk about it. Actually, no, I'll talk about it. So I remember like my first time meeting my grad school students, my grad cohort. We were at like a house party, and I had like a glass of wine. I put it down and started talking to people, right?
Yeah.
And I look over and I'm like, what is this cookie thingy that somebody put under my glass? And it was a coaster.
You never had a coaster before?
I've never seen a coaster in my life.
Joey, man, that's so funny.
What's this cookie thingy, man? It's like
cookie thingy. That's interesting.
Yeah. So I had a lot of growing up to do, man, but it was great for me because I was 24 years old, and in the grad program, there were people in their 30s, 40s, people who have been on Broadway, Equity, SAG, and I'm here just like little thin me from.
Yeah, we taking it all in.
Yeah, son. You know, and I thought I worked. I was a hard worker, but like my first year, like my voice and speech teacher's like, "You're lazy." Yeah, I was like, "What the hell are you talking about? I ain't lazy." But when I started like looking at everybody else and how they were working and how specific they were, I'm like, okay, I know how to entertain, but these people know how to act. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I guess that goes into the question I was going to ask you, because I always send the guests like a little outline of what we're going to talk about, just so no one's caught off guard.
Thank you.
But there was, you're welcome. Like, I know how it is, like, because I try to be like pretty articulate, but then sometimes I say stuff weirdly, or I say like a lot. I noticed, even like watching these back, I'm like, But anyway,
I probably go too. Whatever.
I forgot to include something on there that I wanted to talk to you about, which was imposter syndrome. So I was like, "Oh, Joey, man, like, how do you feel about that?" I think this kind of ties into what you're saying, right? Because I was saying, you know, sometimes I feel like I talked to some other actors and artists, and they feel like this as well. Sometimes they feel like they don't belong, or they're not good enough to be where they are. And you know, that's something that's neither here nor there. But going to grad school, did that prepare you to not feel that way? Because you said you didn't really feel that way.
Yeah, I mean, probably the first, maybe the first semester, I might have felt that way, but after a while, I'm in process. I don't know
Yeah.
everything, and that's okay to not know everything. I hate
Yeah.
jumping into a conversation with somebody who just makes up like these BS answers to try to formulate some type of opinion, and I'm like, no, shh, you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Shut your mouth and like
Yeah.
and let the people who know about it like talk. So
Let them take the lead.
Say again.
Let them take the lead on the
Exactly.
conversation. Yeah.
Yeah. So and you could be 30, 40, 50 years old still going through like things that you don't know. But I just taking the approach with just curiosity and like I don't know this thing right now, but eventually like I am.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, man. It's a lot of pressure to know everything. I was like,
well, there's a lot of pressure in what we do, you know. It's like you can be the best actor, but you don't always book things. You know, it's just like a lot. It's like I feel like when you do another career, if you're going to be like a doctor or like a lawyer or a teacher, there's like steps you take, right? Yep. You do this, and then you go to that level, and you go to that level, and then eventually you're going to graduate, and then you're most likely going to get a job with like acting or being a creative person. It's like you can do all those steps, and you can never get a job. You know? Yeah, you're highly intelligent, maybe you're super talented, or you may get one job here, but then you lose like 20. You know, it's just like
facts.
That could be like a lot for people. So I can understand why people don't pursue this or, you know, quit after a couple years or so. Do you recommend going to grad school? Like, what are your thoughts on that? For actors or writers or creatives specifically?
I think so. This I can't talk about in terms of being a writer, but in terms of being an actor, I think that what somebody learns sometimes, actually, let me go back. First of all, grad school is free. So let's just like get that out of the way. I think I talked to too many people where they're talking about the thousands of dollars they need to save up and loan and take a loan from. Unless your school, you're talking about like Yale or Juilliard, which, you know, that's a name. So you might want to take out the loan for that. But in most grad school situations, you're talking about going for free. So 3 years of like a concentrated education, you're just acting, not worry about science and engineering and all those other classes that you're doing. So my opinion, I feel like there are things that somebody learns in 6 or 7 years that maybe they could just learn in 3 years by going to a grad school program.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and there were a lot of programs that I was interested in, but like it is impossible to not be transformed in some way in a grad school program. You know, like they're definitely going to shift your mind and think and shift your thinking, and you'll go through some tough times, man. But but I think it's worth it, and that's not to say that's the only way. Like hell, there's some studios in New York I'm sure are bomb, you know. But MFA is a sure way for something to happen with you artistically. Yeah.
And then how long have you been in New York for?
2016 is when I first moved here, summer 2016.
How's that been for you? In terms of like working and whatnot, working as an actor.
Yeah. I think it took me a while to get adjusted, because when I was in 2016, that's when I became equity, and I didn't know what to do in these audition situations. So I went to the Actors Equity building, whatever, and the monitor takes out his hand like this, and I go to shake this man's hand.
Oh no!
And he's like,
coronavirus.
What's 20? I was not thinking that in 2016, son. But he's like, headshot resume. I'm like, oh yeah, I have that.
It's like a learning thing, right?
It is a learning thing, yes. But the more I started auditioning, the more I started becoming comfortable. Because I think when I first, it was New York City, I sometimes had like a, hello, I'm going to be doing this, mom. I was like, oh my God, shut up. Turn that off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the more comfortable I started becoming, the more work I got, honestly. That's just kind of what happened. I sort of just dropped in and just started being myself.
Good.
I learned how to prepare for auditions. But yeah, that took me like a solid year to like start to figure out like how to audition and how to manage my time and how to not go crazy if I don't book something,
Yeah.
Definitely a lot of cookies.
Do you coasters or actual cookies?
What? Shut your mouth. No. Go to Starbucks. You go to audition, go to Starbucks, get a nice warm cookie, forget about all that.
Yeah, chocolate chip, baby.
Thanks.
You also are a teaching artist, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you teach. What do you teach?
I teach musical theater for middle schoolers.
And how old are they?
9 and 10.
And how was that?
I love them.
What do you love about it?
I love that they're so open-minded. These mugs, like in terms of improv and just going for a scene.
Yeah.
They don't think like, what, I don't know what to do. They're just like a talented group of kids that just go for it, man. Yesterday I was just like, all right, so what's like the worst, think of an occupation, and they're like, fitness trainer. I'm like, okay, worst fitness trainer ever. Let's do an improv scene. And I message this kid like, this is the adjective you'll play with. This is the adjective you'll play with, whatever. And they just like, it's like Spitfire, son.
Yeah.
They're so good. They're so good, man. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You also work with older kids too?
Yeah, I teach public speaking at oh my gosh, where do I teach?
You don't have to say if you don't want stalkers. You do have like 10 viewers, so.
Borough Manhattan Community College. I teach downtown.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What's that like? So you're going from like working with kids who love theater and acting, right? And then you're working with people who are taking public speaking. So it must be kind of a big change.
They're so funny. One, like most of them are like Afro-Latino. So like exactly. Mm-hmm, yes. We already got that vibe going. But it's great because they're not actors. They don't want to be actors. They're they're studying nursing and engineering and all that stuff, but they just don't like talking in front of people. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I like using theater exercises to get these mugs uncomfortable as hell. They were like, because there's this one exercise, just like this eye contact exercise where we're just making eye contact. And they're like, yo, professor, man, this man uncomfortable. and I'm like, and they start laughing. I'm like, yo, listen, my date canceled. I ain't got Muay Thai. I ain't got nowhere to be. Y'all gonna stay here till you figure it out till 5:45. I ain't got nothing to do. So, but we can talk like that because that's our rapport. But it's But when they start like taking to like some of the weird actory stuff, you're like, damn, at the end of the semester, you have these people who are like really comfortable talking in front of people. It's awesome. Yeah, I love it.
That's really cool. It's like really inspiring too. Like you're like making a difference.
Yeah. I've been in situations sometimes, like even teaching kids, where you're teaching them in a play that they have one little line, but they stuttered like crazy when in front of their parents or their schoolmates. So that one line is mad important, yo.
Yeah, of course.
So I get fulfillment just from seeing like even those like little small changes. It means so much to them sometimes, man.
I love that. I'm gonna take some comments and some questions from our viewers.
We got viewers?
Yeah. My friend Faku said this is his favorite show ever.
Oh,
I'm not sure if this is or something else. You two are nuts. I love it, says Carrie. Joyce says hashtag RCA alum.
Who said that?
Joyce?
Joyce.
Oh, no, yeah.
Yeah, shout out to Joyce.
Well, there's not many questions, but if you guys have questions, please write them in and we'll answer them, or at least Joey Man will.
Joyce,
I want
shout out to Original Works.
Yes, hashtag RCA. Talk about Shakespeare.
Shakespeare?
Shakespeare. You're like official now. That's why I say you're like a real actor. You know Shakespeare mad good. Mad well. You know Shakespeare very well.
Yeah, man. I feel you know what? I hated Shakespeare. Like you okay. My first introduction to Shakespeare was Miss Amosquita. If you're watching this, just know this has nothing to do with you. I was just a sucky student. But we were reading like I forget if it was Hamlet or the Scottish play. Do you remember what we read?
Yeah, Scottish play.
Okay.
At least my class did.
Huh?
At least my class did.
Oh yeah, no, I think she makes every class read it. And we're reading that, and I'm like, yo, this is so boring, man. But then I'm like, we start reading it. Like she's like, okay, so you read this part, you read this part, and I was just like putting on this stupid fake accent, Cockney British, and like, is this a dagger I saved before me? Let me clutch it.
I mean, you were like 11 years old, so
yo,
of course you did that.
But like the class was laughing, so I'm like, if we're all gonna like sit here and have to go through this, at least I'm gonna enjoy myself doing it. But then in high school, I was, I tried the accent thing, and the teacher would like, shh, stop doing that. And at that point, really? I'm like, well, they had every right, because I was goofing around. I wasn't taking it serious. And even when I went to college, man, and like Jeff got me to like Shakespeare, and I wish I had more time to do more classes, because if I took more classes with him, then I would have been probably all into it. But I took we had like a short kind of thing with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I was gonna say that's the thing. Like, is that my friend Kelly Nelson, who I met at WestCon, she was huge into Shakespeare. Like, it's like her favorite thing, and she just said like a lot of teachers, and just like in general, like they don't make it fun. Like, it's a play, you have to play.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's like, people make you just read it, and it's like not meant to be read. And I was like, that is probably why so many people don't like it. You're sitting at a desk,
facts,
and you're just reading this something that's supposed to be performed as a fucking play.
Oh my god.
I remember in RCA they had a Shakespeare class.
Okay.
And like the first semester, and they did a scene from, I think, Midsummer Night's Dream.
Okay.
Maybe it was Taming in the Shrew. I really don't remember what scene it was, but I just remember it was so entertaining and so much fun. And I was like, oh shit, this is kind of cool. And then I took Shakespeare like the next semester with like Miss Dodd, and like a teacher. And I had such a good time with it because it's supposed to be performed.
Yeah.
So I think teachers, especially in like high school, like need to remember like this shit is supposed to be like get people on their feet and like
always.
Yes. Like we know, like I know it's hard. It's like hard. Language is different than what we're accustomed to. But once you get the language down, or once you know what things mean, like get it on his feet and have a good time with it.
No, that's serious. I agree, man. But like even doing it in like when I did it in undergrad, I still didn't understand. It wasn't until I went to the Orlando Shakespeare Theater, and that was like we had like a master class in it, and this dude Jim Helsinger, shout out to him, he was talking about Shakespeare, and then the literal translation and the figurative translation.
Yeah. So
like one is just like the literal translation, which is like the Spark Notes version. Yeah. And then figurative, like your own intention into it.
Gotcha. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, let me give an example. There's like like for example, Ferdinand, he says, my prime request, which I do last pronounce, is, oh, you wonder if you be made or no. And like the Spark Notes version is, you know, my first question and the last time I'll ask it is, oh, you're beautiful. Are you a human or not? So he's just like, okay, so how would Joel like do that? So I'm like, all right, so I'm gonna ask this one time, and this is the last time I'm gonna ask it. Damn, you fine. Are you a human or not? So he's like, okay, so then take that, all the physicality, and then put that into the Shakespeare lines. Just like my prime request, which I do last pronounce, is, oh, you wonder if you be made or no. And then once he said that, I'm like, oh snap, I got you now. Yeah. But it wasn't that
underneath the words.
Exactly. Yeah. It wasn't until that I started like, oh, I get this. Because before I'm like, this kind of elevated white people doing British accents. I don't like it. It's dumb. Can we not do it? You know?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, shout out to that guy. That sounds like such a important and I think necessary way that I think all teachers who end up teaching Shakespeare should adapt. You know, like that needs to be part of a curriculum somewhere, you know, rather than what is currently happening. Especially because like we're from like inner city, you know, like we went to a predominantly urban school where like the arts, we went to performing arts high school, but like our regular day school, like there wasn't much going on there. Like they tried, but you know, there wasn't much, you know.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. Didn't you watch like, I don't know if we watched at any point, but like the Romeo and Juliet with like freaking what's his name?
The movie version?
With Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
Sure, what's that?
Yeah.
I was like, this is whack, man. I ain't trying.
That's all they give us, right? John Leguizamo's in that, isn't he?
Shout out to John Leguizamo.
What was your like first major audition like?
Oh,
you remember?
Yeah, I do. It was like the non-union tour of Elf.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I went to your house.
What are you talking about?
All right, no. All right, so I went to SETC and auditioned.
What is SETC?
SETC, Southeastern Theater Conference, and it's basically this big cattle call. You do a song and a monologue. You're timed.
Yeah.
And you do it in front of all
like 2 minutes, right?
Yeah. And they'll be like, "Thank you," and just cut you off. It's not like "Can you please?" It's just like, done. I'm like, oh. So I auditioned there, and then I was in grad school, and I was down in Florida, and I got an email saying, "Hey, we'd like to call you back for Elf the Musical in New York City." And I was like, "Thanks, son." So my professor, when I was in the middle of my thesis role, so I was really busy. But my professor.
Oh, you stayed at my apartment. That's what you're saying. Oh, okay, yeah.
Exactly.
You said my house. Now, like thinking Connecticut, like.
No.
Oh yes.
My bad. Sorry, I called your house. I was at your apartment, and you let me sleep on your couch.
Yes. Thank you. Of course.
But to be honest, man, like I can't. I'm not gonna. I don't have a story where like I was nervous. It's like I made my choices. I did my coachings.
Yeah.
I went and I gave my best. So I never like left there saying, "Oh, I wish I did this and that." And it's like I did the best I can, and they just didn't want me. But like that's cool. Like move on to the next one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I forgot. I think this is Bryan Cranston that said like, you know, Bryan Cranston from like Breaking Bad, and I think he's in Malcolm in the Middle. He was talking about like how he was, you know, always going to these auditions, and he was just like putting so much pressure on himself, and he was always feeling like frustrated that he wasn't getting work, and he was like, oh, like another one I didn't get, like he was feeling very defeated, and he ended up like talking to someone, or like someone gave him a message, was like, your job as an actor is to audition, like that's like what your job is, you know, like that's what you're here to do. You go and you audition. It's your time to have fun and to play. It's your time to do what were trained to do, and just let it go. Like after it's done, just let it go. And basically, he like that finally sunk into him, and he started adapting this kind of like thing of like not taking it past the room, like leaving it in the room and like letting it go. And like a couple of weeks after, he booked his first like major gig, which was Malcolm in the Middle. So I always try to like think about that kind of like, okay, like I'm gonna prepare, I'm gonna do what I gotta fucking do, I'm gonna get in there, I'm gonna do my best, and then after I'm gonna throw those sides away or whatever. Like it's done. Like there's nothing I can do. Exactly. I did that. My job was in the room, and like it's out of my control.
Yeah. You're so talented, Jason. I just want to say that.
Joey, man, thank you. I'm horrible at taking compliments.
That's okay. I'm just gonna keep saying it.
Thank you. Yeah, and you booked like a tour, right? Shortly after that.
Yeah.
What was that like? Tell us about tour life and the audition for that.
Oh yeah. This was there's this theater company in Raleigh, North Carolina, called the Burn and Coal Theater, and I just went there from Romeo and Juliet. Like that was my audition. So I went there, did the call back, and I went home, and then they were like, "Oh, so we want to offer you Mercutio." I'm like, "Yeah, son, what?"
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, but then they're like, "And we're also doing this other play called The Prisoner's Dilemma, and we're taking it to London, and we want to give you this role." And I was like, "What?"
Yes.
Yo,
Joey man.
Yeah, and I was excited to do the play, but like they were talking about doing it in London. So I never been freaking overseas. Like I don't know how all that worked, getting like a passport or whatever.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, if y'all gonna house me and pay me money and whatever, like pay for my ticket, like absolutely. Yeah. And like it was a great experience. Like I never been out of the country, so this is a cool experience to do that.
Yeah.
But
it's awesome.
Yeah. It's cool. Yeah, like it's cool to have my resume, but I'm not like the stars are aligning. I was just like, it's just like another it's another thing that we're auditioning for, and it's like we good, and you keep going. So
how do you like how do you not have the pressure? Because it sounds like you let the pressure go of this, like how do you do that? Like what's your mantra, I guess, of not having this pressure on your shoulders? Is it because you're so fucking good, so you're like, oh.
No, but like I think it's like a mindset for me. Like I go in probably admittedly like really confident.
Mm-hmm.
My thing is just like, I'm not here to entertain anybody. I'm not here to entertain you. I know I'm good. I've been prepared. Like I got all this, so I'm gonna show you my work.
Mm-hmm.
If you like it, cool. If not, somebody else is gonna work with me. So I think I just don't want to go in trying to please people and doing it, because that's when we can get trapped in, because you there's so much power in that. It's like please. It's like a little puppy, like pick me. It's like no. We're not. I'm not playing that game. And I'm always and even if I'm not booking something, like I just try to keep myself busy. So whether that's in a class, whether that's in a voice lesson, like I'm still going to be creating. So that getting this audition is not going to stop me from making stuff. You know what I'm
saying? Yeah. Facts. We're gonna take some questions. I see they're popping up now.
Pop.
Liz. She says she loves our energy. Remember Liz from Black Box? She says she loves our energy. Oh, I love her.
Shout out to Liz.
Ryan Nasso says, "What the hell was Joey Man on the verge of being a criminal? Hashtag relatable."
Nope.
He's funny.
We'll talk another time, Ryan.
Carrie has a question. Do you ever get nervous when you're acting on stage? If so, how do you cope with that anxiety?
Ever get nervous on stage? Yeah, I'd say yeah. There were like sometimes a musical, I'm going to be honest. Like I always make sure to put in like voice lessons before I do a musical. But you know, there's some times where parts are challenging for me, and I think my main thing is just to keep acting. Like, do not stop acting. For myself, sometimes I can get so wrapped up in like, do I sound good? It's like, no, that's no, like, some people, a lot of people just don't care about that. But if you're like over here dead eyes singing and like, but if you're doing that, you know what I'm saying? Like that, that's, you know, that's the problem there. But yeah, just to keep acting through it. And also, like, if the audience doesn't react to something you're doing and it usually gets to laugh, just shut up. Just keep telling the story, you know?
Yeah. I think Meisner was, that is a good question, Carrie. I think when I started doing Meisner is when I guess, like, I would get like nerves, like these nerves energy all the time. And I think I still get that. I think that's normal for a performer. But I feel like it's easy, like, since I started taking Meisner, it was easier to like channel that energy into like, I'm just here in the moment of like connecting with my partner, you know?
Yo, that's powerful, man.
I mean, I wish I could take credit for that, but like, I wish. I wish I was writing Jason books. No, but that's like what the, you know, I never really took Meisner. I took like a little bit in like when I was younger, but it wasn't until I actually took a class and, you know, I did a couple of years of it, and I was able to really feel that and make that real. 'Cause I remember Jeff, going back to Jeff, who we love, was always said like 90% of your thoughts on stage should be your character's thoughts. Like, you should be in the mindset of your character, and 10% is you. Like, I need to remember my blocking. I need to make sure I hit this mark here. I need to remember to do this. But 90% of your thoughts should be your character's thoughts. And I've never experienced that until I started taking Meisner. Because it would be like, you know, there would always be something here like, oh, don't fuck up, or like, you know, like, oh, just something that will always be in my head or like in my gut, like, you don't want to fuck up. You don't want to fuck up, you know?
Facts.
Tandre had a question, or she had a comment about Shakespeare. It's because the teachers don't like Shakespeare either.
Ooh, yikes!
Yeah, I mean, that's true. That is true.
True story.
Yeah, wow, that's very true. I feel like it's like a task for them, right? If you don't like something, I mean, if you don't want to do something, you don't like it. How are you gonna have enthusiasm for other people to join in?
Yeah.
Wow, that's so true.
Think about that.
Let's go to inspirations. Like, who inspires you? Maybe when you were little, who still inspires you? Like, can you name a couple people?
Right. I just want to say, I like your headband. I just want to say that before I keep going.
Joey, man, thank you. I told Joey, man, I literally made this like half an hour before I had to go on air because this hairline is going through it, you know.
I feel you. Tough times.
It is. I'm like, damn it, why didn't I go get that shape up in that haircut right before listening?
I know.
Like, I was gonna go, and I was like, oh. Now I'm regretting it, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. No, I like it. I like it. Inspirations. You know, like Norm Lewis. Think about him.
Yes.
Norm Lewis, Raul Esparza. Just like Norm Lewis specifically, is like, you have this good-looking, handsome leading man of color who's not doing any kind of shucking and jiving that we know that people would expect for somebody a person of color to do. But he's just great, powerful, honest, and you know, that inspires me to do more if I see more people who look like him doing that. Jim Carrey. Actually, Jim Carrey. Yeah. Jim Carrey. I like watching him act. I think he's a good guy to watch.
I feel like a lot of people from our generation, like, he was such an influence because he's just like so crazy and like free. Like I feel like his acting was always like he always went there.
Exactly.
You know?
Yo, you're so right. And this like quirky thing where people are like, oh my gosh, he's overacting. It's like he's making a choice. He's making a choice, and it might be too much or too big, but that takes such courage to just go for it. Like what I envy that so much, man.
Same. Yeah. But like I guess maybe it's too much, but like he has so many memorable and iconic roles that you know, maybe you think it's too much, but he's fucking Jim Carrey, you know?
Yeah.
So I can totally see that.
He's a man. And Drew Sarge, you ever heard of him?
Drew Sarge?
Drew Sarge. If you ever look this man up, the best, for my opinion, best Jesus Christ superstar ever. Like this man's passion and his vocal range is crazy. He's more like known internationally as opposed to like in the States, but he's fire.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And I threw this in there. Russell Westbrook. He's a basketball player.
Okay.
But he is a basketball player that he's a dog and he goes in 110%. And even if the man's losing, if he's on the court, you're going to get all of his effort.
Is he on the Knicks?
You think we would be as bad as we were if we had Russell Westbrook? Don't say something so stupid, Jason.
Joey, man, I don't know sports, okay? Like, I don't know.
We suck. We suck. Okay? No, I wish we had Russell Westbrook. Anyway, that made me mad.
So Russell Westbrook is watching, or any other crazy Russell Westbrook fans are watching. I'm sorry.
Well, Russell Westbrook, you know, he plays in Houston, but yeah, so when I'm feeling tired and I'm going from my job to the audition to my, you know, doing like my nighttime like gym and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm tired, but I just kind of think about him and how much he gives as long as he's still out there. And
of course.
Yeah, so I that's another one. Cool guy.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I was gonna say, like, being an athlete, there's so much training and like dedication, and like I remember one of my acting teachers was like, Michael Jordan didn't become Michael Jordan by like sitting around eating chips, like, you know, like, because she'd always be saying actors are lazy, and the actors will be like just hanging out, like not working on their craft, like talking about their craft and like talking about how like their last thing they booked and blah 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 blah. But like she was like, you gotta be training, you gotta be reading monologues and learning monologues and reading plays, and like you don't stop, you know. She's the only people that do that are like athletes and fucking lawyers. Like you gotta keep doing your thing, you know.
Yeah. You know, once you said that, that reminded me of what Alana said on your last time, and she was saying how sometimes she's in a room and the actors just kind of want to play around and talk. He's like, time to get work done. Like that, like that's what we're here for. And yeah, I vibe with that, because there's time we just have to get to work.
Yeah, facts. Facts on facts on facts. So you're Puerto Rican, right?
Boricua.
Boricua. Do you face any challenges as an actor of color? I'm sure you have. That's a question I've been asking my last couple of guests.
That's cool.
Like what challenges have you faced, or?
Yeah, I would say like things have gotten better. You know, like I like obviously things now are not the same things 30 years ago. Like I even 10 or 11. I remember, I'm not gonna say the name of the school, but I was talking to a professor and I was having problems there. And he said, listen, you're gonna have to shape up, because when you go out there, you're gonna be playing like thugs and like street people. So you have to like, you know.
I wonder who this was. It sounds very familiar.
No, it's not everything. It's not everything.
Okay. Okay.
But I remember hearing that. I'm like hell, I'm gonna be playing all that. Like that's all me playing. No way. Like I have way more to do.
Yeah.
You know, and that got me in my head for a while. You know, I'm gonna have to code switch, and like when I go into rooms, and it's like, you know, how are you? Hello, Joel. I was like, hello. You know, how are you doing? I'm peachy. It's great. You know, eventually, you know, but now this is a time where people of color are embraced, especially in New York City, and we're starting to be seen by more than just like sidekicks and all that. Like and there's always going to be a problem somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just like matter of fact. You know what? There was even like, what was it, last year or 2 years ago, when you had that theater company that was just like that they were casting Evita. You remember that? Casting Evita, yes. and they're like, and want the Latino lead of the lead dropped because he had to do something else, and they put in Constantine Morales in there from
American Idol,
yeah. And their response was like, well, we tried very hard to look for another Latinx actor, but we couldn't. Like, this whole country, y'all can find one Latino. Are y'all? Nah, miss us with all that. Nah. Yeah. So people, there are always going to be like little cracks in there who just are still getting on board. But especially the last few years, I haven't felt as limited, and I felt more seen, which has been.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's awesome, Joey, man.
Yeah. I'll tell you about that dude later, though.
Hey, things are always changing. Jason Nolan asks, what has been the most rewarding moment with your students as a teaching artist? And then, has there ever been an aha moment that made you realize, yes, they're learning, they're getting it?
Yeah, let me see. This one, it still sticks out in my mind. But I was teaching this musical theater thing in Canada. Yeah. And it's like this small school, not a lot of kids and not a lot to choose from. They're not really that like they're kind of timid, you know. And we cast this dude as the lead, man. And dude just did not get it. And it was
really?
Like, yeah, I felt so bad for him, because I'm like, listen, we didn't have a lot to choose from, and I know we're giving this kid the lead, you know. And up until our last dress rehearsal, I'm still giving this guy lines. I'm still trying to help him, and I feel so bad because I'm like, we're giving him the lead role, man. You know, like he's not prepared, like, you know, yet as a human being, as a developing human being, to do that.
Yeah.
Son came on opening night, charmed the hell out of everybody, yo.
Really?
I'm sitting there on stage shocked, yo. I'm like, where was this the whole time, yo? It's like, this man gave me a heart attack, but he brought it, and I so there are a couple kids who have those moments, but he's like one that stuck out to me, that up until the very end, and it's not just like a miracle moment. He was trying, man.
Yeah.
Like I know that him getting those lines and also adapting to like audiences laughing and everything, all that, like he was a pro, and he did that on opening night, man. Yeah.
It's something. I mean, I think there's something electric about having an audience, you know, because theater is made for an audience, right? So I think if you're tuned in and you're connected in your role and your fellow actors and this world that's the director, that was you created, and I think that sometimes you just need that last thing, might be the audience, just to make everything kind of just like mesh together. I don't know if that makes sense, but
no, that so makes sense. I've been I don't know if you know this or been in this situation, but I've been in rooms before where, like, and I know it's their job, but you know, you're in the rehearsal room, you know, week after week, and Muggs is still laughing at stuff, and I'm like
actors or
no, like anybody who's like in the production team, and in my mind, like in my like pessimism, I'm like, what are you laughing at? This is like the 15th time you've seen the same bit. Is it really that funny? Is it that funny? Okay. but that's just my own pessimism. But yeah, you're right. Having that audience is like, that's like the jolt of energy that we're all looking for, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
do one more question, then we'll have a couple more. Carrie asked, he said Jim Carrey's fearless, which yes, definitely.
Facts.
When you're teaching kids, are you nurturing and soft? Do you find yourself having to be strict at times? If so, how do you find that balance? Which is another great question.
Yeah. First, when I talk to kids, I talk to them like humans. That's the first one. Especially like you're 9 and 10. I'm not going to be like, hey guys, how's it going? I'm really excited that we're here today. So we're, oh my God, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You know, they're a lot smarter than we take them for. So I have moments where I nurture, but I'm more just like encouraging, like you know, where it's just like you know they're saying a line that way. I'm like, oh, you're so close, you're so close. Say that line again, and just give a little bit more energy. And I'm like, yes, that's what we're talking about. So it's like a genuine excitement with them. I think there are times where you gotta be strict sometimes. So, you know, because unfortunately you can play but for so long. You know, if and most of the time they get it, but you know, it's like if you're trying to do a scene and some person's in the background, like making noise while the other actors are on stage. I'm like, Papa.
Yeah, come on.
Papa, mira. Like Ja. Like we gave you the same respect when we were up here doing the scene. You got to give the same respect, okay? I don't want to keep talking to you, okay? No. Sit. Thank you. And then that's it. Yeah. So it's just, yeah. So you. I'm
sure they respect you too because you talk to them like they're humans, not you baby them, you know.
Yeah. Nah, they're too old for all that.
Old ass kids. What does community mean to you?
Community, show day, community, like a group of people who do the same thing you do, but also support you, I think is like my definition. I like you, like the whole like artist Kabila thing, like that's why I see as community. Like you don't know anybody who doesn't go to Artist Kabila, you gotta go because you have like this group of people who are putting on, who are, you know, giving their new work, hasn't been tested out before, and that takes a lot of bravery to just put your work out there because you know how it's going to be received. But you every time I've been there, you guys have been like so encouraging to each other, and the criticism has never been like some Simon Cowell BS whatever. It's just like some shout out to Simon Cowell if you're watching.
I'm sure he is.
I'm sure he is too. But everybody's giving constructive criticism. I think it is one of the best things I've seen. Anybody who I've ever seen especially coming out of any school that I studied at, like seriously, Jason, like it's such a great environment all the time.
Thank you. I mean, I always tell people that it's like selfish because it's like what I needed, right? Because I remember when I moved to New York, you know, I was like, oh, I'm gonna be an actor in New York City, and then you have this like, enthusiasm, right? Of course, you're like, you know, you're probably like nervous, but you're just like, you know, like I'm doing this, and then you get here, and it's like a huge fucking city, you know, like you think you're gonna see your friends that you went to college with all the time. It's like I thought like I was gonna see the people that I connected with for 3-4 years all the time. And it's so hard, you know, everybody lives so spread out, and it's like everybody's doing their own thing. Everybody has a life, you know, and their life doesn't revolve around you, which is totally fine.
Yeah.
So that's why it was important for me to have a place where like I got to see people and like connect with people who are doing like-minded things. And, you know, so it's a little bit selfish in a way.
Whatever.
I think we all need that. And like, you know, I think people crave that, you know.
Yeah.
And you find it in different ways.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying they find it in different ways in different places, but what you were saying.
Yeah, no, and also like boosting each other up. instead of like this pissing contest of like who's doing what, who's act, like nobody cares, bro. I remember like I remember I was at this party and talking to a complete stranger once, and like a lot of actors there, and I was saying to this girl, like, or I asked this girl, like, hey, how's it going? Mm-hmm. And I could already like her body language shifted to like, oh, I'm working on this. I auditioned for this, but I'm not sure if I got it. And she just went through like all this thing, but with the acting, I'm just like, I just want to know how you're doing. I stopped her in the middle. I was like, I just want to know how you're doing as a human being, man. I'm not here to like try to like, you know, do this comparison thing of what we're doing. I literally don't care.
It's true. It's very true.
Anyway.
Because I was saying, like, you know, it's what we're doing is hard. Like, it's not in the same way as, you know, as being a doctor or being a nurse, or, you know, it's a different kind of a challenge, or being a teacher. You know what I mean? It's putting yourself out there and facing nonstop rejection and like we were saying earlier, like you can be the most talented person, but you might not be the right person for this role. So it's like this constant kind of like, I don't want to say negativity, but it can be very negative if you're not in the right headspace. You don't have the people to support you and uplift you and keep you going. So that's my whole thing in the community, which I'm glad that you're a part of. Joey, man, we've like worked together so many times. I feel like I owe you so many favors.
No, you don't. You owe me the favor. I owe you the favor, bro.
No, Joey Man was in my web series, and you were in like 15 of my shows in Connecticut, and you were in like other.
You can't stop the beat.
A
new world.
Oh my God, Joey, man, that's so funny.
Oh my gosh, son. Jeez,
oh shit. What do you do? So I guess the big question, which this whole episode is about, which we kind of circled around, but we haven't really dived in exactly, is how do you balance your artistry in a time like this? Because I said you're always doing so much stuff. I see you. Like, how do you find the? How are you making this normal? This whole thing that we're in, it's completely unnormal. Yeah. Does it make a sense? Am I asking a question right?
No, I feel you. I knew that, like the stuff because this like I have created like a school for myself. I have like Spanish, French, ASL, and then drums and guitar, and each of those gets an hour a day. Wow. In terms of my time. Every day. Every
do you have like a chart? Like what? How do you keep this organized?
Nah, just my own thing. Like it's so loose. Like I do an hour of guitar, and then I'm like chilling for 20 minutes. I'm like, I think I'm gonna do my Spanish now. So that's just kind of how it goes. Nice. But I wanted to give myself something to look forward to every day. You know what I'm saying? Well, not every day, but at least every week. You know, because like I'm like, okay, like I'm decent at Spanish. I'm decent at the guitar, but like, what if I were to like not only like try to improve, but also make sure I send a video once a week. My goal is once a week to show a video of ASL, or once a week to show a video of drums. And these
like
are things,
your social media. Like,
yeah.
What do you mean? Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Like share something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I would say like it's cool to have something if it's related to the art, awesome. But something that you can get lost in, making sure that you have that something to look forward to. Like with drums and with my instruments and my languages, it's not something that I need to like going through a Shakespeare script. That's work for me.
Yes.
Like to have to do the translation and stuff. I don't find like a whole bunch of joy in like off of like doing that, you know?
Yeah.
But you know, thinking about perhaps that special skill that you haven't done in a while. Think about that language perhaps that you wanted to try always, but haven't thought about it. and maybe take a few little steps towards it. You don't have to commit an hour a day to everything, but like,
Yeah.
you know, this is the time where are we going?
Mhm.
So if you have that motivation, if you have that drive, just taking like small steps to be like, I'm going to practice this thing that I wanted to do a long time ago. I'm going to do this maybe twice a week and then start off there.
That's
But
great.
yeah, but like, and even if you're like, when we get back out there, getting back out, when we get back out there, I think it's something that should continue, because
Yeah, of course.
why am I going to rely just on auditioning for me to create stuff? You know,
Yeah.
like that's the only time I'm going to work is when I book a show. I'm like, no. Like,
yeah.
try to find something consistently that you like doing, that doesn't feel like work, and make sure you're going at that every day or for every week or whatever you set up for yourself.
Do you practice your languages on Duolingo?
Yes, I do.
Does that damn owl bother you? He always coming like yesterday. He's like sending me like text and an email at the same time. What's that? I need to get rid of this fucking owl right now. Like, I'm on a 14-day streak on Spanish, and like the pressure is getting like. It started off as really fun and chill, but that damn owl is giving me anxiety.
I hate the owl. I hate the owl too, bro.
Oh man.
Yeah.
But I agree with I totally agree with what you're saying. And that's kind of what's keeping me from going crazy, because like I'm alone, and that first week I was like, oh my God, like what the fuck is this? Like, yep. And there's so much anxiety in the world. Like there's so much uncertainty and anxiety. And like I'm the kind of person where I am a planner and a doer. And like right now I can't plan, and there's only so much I can do. So I had to figure out how to not go crazy and not be like depressed like 90% of the time, you know? So that was like, okay, like I always said I want to brush up on my Spanish, you know, it's been a while. So let me just do this. Let me download Duolingo again.
I love that you're doing that,
yo. Get it. Yeah, until the fucking owl was like, give me anxiety. But I turned that bitch off. Like I went to like last night when I got 2 at the same time, I was like, I can't with this. But yeah, and it's like, you know, trying to like, okay, I always say like I should cook more. I'm not going out. I'm not going to be getting delivery every day. I don't have a job. So let's start cooking, you know? And I kind of like,
dude, I need to be on your show. I need to be sprinkling adobo on your cereal, bro.
Not my cereal. Joey, man. I need to buy some adobo. We don't have that. We have that fancy Monterey seasoning, which is delicious.
Shout out to Monterey.
Yeah, exactly. I love talking to you. It's been an hour already. I can't even believe it.
Yo, it has.
We haven't even gotten to my whole list, but totally fine. We're gonna start wrapping it up. If anybody has any last minute questions, feel free to send them in. I'm gonna have Ask Joey Man like 2 or 3 more questions, and we're gonna wrap it up. So, we're gonna jump to, if you could be trapped with 5 other well-known creatives during this time, who would you pick? 5 creatives. Any 5 creatives.
Yeah,
that you could be quarantined with.
Listen, all right. I wanted to like do a like non like famous person list.
You don't have. Yeah, let's be famous.
Listen, I'm gonna give 2. So 2 lists.
Okay.
Of people. Okay.
Yes.
You.
Oh.
My friend Ryan Housesaver. And by the way, everybody, I love everybody. I'll work with anybody again. I'm just saying, this was just thinking. Ryan Housesaver, he put this metal version of Sweeney Todd with his wife's son. I'm gonna send that to you. It's fire.
Please. It's fire. I'll put it in the YouTube comments, and I'll put this on YouTube
please.
The next day. Yeah, send it to me, please.
My boy Seth Rue, he worked on 12th Night. Super talented dude. Alana. Just because she's mad talented, and I like when she was talking about like people talking, not getting things done. I'm like, that's the energy, man.
Yeah.
And my friend Nathaniel Clarida, who's like this Filipino actor director, and just super talented, and a clown too. Just positive people.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, man.
You need to be surrounded by positive people in this situation.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah, I think, was that 4 or 5? Doesn't matter. All right. Other people, the famous people. All right. Here we go. John Leguizamo.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
He's such a legend. He's such a legend. And I feel like he needs to start getting the flowers now. Like I feel like it's kind of like the tides are turning. Like people are more like giving him props, but I feel like he needs to start getting like people need to, he's such an important person, I feel like, especially to like Puerto Rican people. You know what I mean? He's a trailblazer and an icon. Like give him his flowers now.
Yes.
Sorry, keep going.
No, you're right. You're right. Leslie Mann. You know?
Leslie Mann, is that the actress?
Yeah, she's in a lot of like Seth Rogen's like movies.
She's the wife, right? The wife of.
Yeah.
Is she the wife? Yes. Who's she the wife of? The director, right?
Is she?
Let me know.
Somebody answer that. I have no clue.
Yeah.
But I just love her humor. Like it's very like something about her speech rhythm is just so funny. Like she's one of those actresses that if whatever she's in, I want to watch it.
Yes.
Eddie Murphy.
Oh my gosh.
Eddie Murphy.
Did you see Dolomite?
Yes, I did.
He's so good in that.
So good.
Keep going.
Dave Chappelle.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
And then Carol Baskin.
You're so shady, Joey, man. He knows I be defending Carol Baskin because I feel like everybody's going in on her.
No. Just kidding. Sorry, that was my other list of people I don't want to be with. Eric Andre.
Oh yes, Eric Andre.
He is so random and will be so troublesome, but I just want him. I would want him in the room creating.
Yeah. It's a great list, Joey, man. You like funny ass people.
I think so. You're funny.
Yes. I try to be. I try to be funny. I want to do stand up one day. Maybe I'll.
You should. Oh my God, it'd be awesome.
Judd Apatow's wife. Thank you, Carrie. Yes. Leslie. Yeah. I'm like, she's somebody's wife. Yes, Judd Apatow.
Yeah.
And then give me some recommendations, or give us some recommendations of things we should be consuming during this time. Cool.
They're not all acting related, but I got my list here.
Yeah, they could be anything. This is Joey's list.
What did he say?
This is Joey Man's list, because quarantine list.
John Leguizamo's Latin History for Morons on Netflix right now.
Yes.
Conviction, Satanic Panic. It's a podcast. And
okay.
Yeah,
it's a murder podcast?
Huh?
It's like a murder podcast, right?
I think
or true crime?
Criminal, yeah.
Criminal, yeah.
But awesome. Yeah, Satanic Panic in the 1980s, when people were like, going on a witch hunt for finding people in satanic cults. They were dumb and crazy.
John Leguizamo, you said? I want to write these down just in case.
You good?
And then you said, what's this one called?
Conviction. It's called Conviction, and the specific story is the Satanic Panic.
Gotcha. The 80s were a weird time. I mean, we were like little kids.
Super weird, son.
Keep going.
Wild Wild Country. Know about that one?
Yeah, what is that? Oh, that's a Netflix documentary, right?
Yeah. This guy who started this cult in India, this free like sex, love, art cult, and took it to India, and things went to India, took it to the States, and things just went crazy.
Oh, I can't wait to watch. Someone else recommended that to me.
You need it. You need it in your life. Bhagwan. Easy. It's another Netflix one. That's when you have follows several different couples and several different people as they explore alternative relationships, and I'm fascinated by their stories. And I think it's good writing, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And it's recommended for those who finished Paris is Burning. Pose. Just gonna say it.
Season 1.
Yes.
On Netflix.
Pose is on Netflix. Oh my, yeah. So if talking about being Black and a drag queen and AIDS in the 1980s, and it is beautiful. That series, I love every second of it. I only finished episode 3, but I'm hooked.
Yeah, it's a fantastic. It's such an important show as well. Yes, it's everything. It's everything. I haven't seen season 2 yet, but I need to definitely see that. Yeah. Yes. Any last minute questions? Let's see. No. Carrie said sports talk. Emily. Emily Tumbleson said, yes, supportive community is important for all artists. Thank you, Emily. That's so true. And yeah, Jason and Carrie said Judd Apatow's wife. Yeah, Leslie Mann. Cool. I appreciate you talking to me, being so open, so honest, so candid, so insightful, Joey, man. You're like full of like nuggets of good information. I thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, I love talking with you, man, and you're the same. Like, yeah, your sense of community and artistry. Love you, man. Love you.
Love you too.
Bridgeport,
love you, seriously.
City of Dreams.
City of Dreams, Joe. Like Joey, man, we're like when I get my life together and I start getting to the next level, we're gonna have some plans for the City of Dreams. Because
listen, I'm with it.
We're gonna change some stuff there.
let's start a revolution, man. I'm with it.
We are, but a real one, not a No. Anything you want to say before we go?
Nah, man. Thank you for allowing me to do this, and to everybody, much love and all that good stuff.
Yes. Before you go, I wanted to share 2 quick things, and then we'll wrap it up. I know it's Friday, right? It's Friday, or today's Tuesday. Today's Tuesday. I don't know what day it is.
You bugging.
Why I do this thing on Tuesdays and Fridays, so it's either one of those days. I'm like,
don't take me to the future yet, bro.
I have a quote that I want to share. It's from an unknown source, but it was, if you want to achieve greatness, stop asking for permission. Simple quote. I just thought that was great for people who were just trying to accomplish anything. Stop asking for permission. You can do it. And I want to recommend something that people should check out. It's called Self-Made on Netflix. Have you heard of it? It's inspired by the life of Madam C.J. Walker, which is like the first like Black female millionaire. It stars Octavia Spencer and Tiffany Haddish and Blair Underwood.
I wanted to get into that.
Yeah, I saw the first 2 episodes. I think it's 4 episodes, and it was fantastic. I love everything Octavia Spencer does. Like, I love Ma. Have you seen Ma?
Wait,
Octavia Spencer.
Is that the Oh my wait. Explain the premise again.
It's like she starts hanging out with the kids, and she's like, don't make me drink alone. Don't make me drink alone.
That was so weird, son.
Did you watch it?
Yes, I did.
Oh, good.
Oh my
it's very weird. It's it's like not good, but I love Octavia Spencer. I think she's brilliant in that. Everything she does is like a masterclass in acting, in my opinion.
Yeah, I love her. Shout out to her.
Yeah. This Friday, we have this awesome woman. It's somebody I don't know for the first time. I've only met her through email, so I'm really nervous and really excited.
Get it together.
I know, right? Can be just laughing. I can be laughing for half the interview. John Latte Mullins, she's a writer, director, and producer based in Georgia. So we're going to be Zooming, and she's going to be sharing some insight on being an artist from her point of view. And she's someone that has been so generous and so kind through email so far. And my friend Nicole put us in touch with each other. So I'm really, really excited. And I'm really thankful. What are you gonna say?
That'll be on point.
I know, right? I can't just be laughing and be keying with my peeps. But seriously, thank you, Joey, man. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate you. You know how much I love you. You can watch Joey Man on my web series, Shaw. He was phenomenal. And when we get out of this quarantine life, I'm sure he's going to be on mad Broadway stages soon. So we'll definitely see him live and in action. All of them. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, you have a good week, okay? Thank you guys for tuning in. Creators Corner, baby. Bye. Thank you guys. Joey man.
Oh, yeah, yeah.